The Oscar season has officially begun, which means you are going to get a ton of Oscar prediction videos on this channel. I don't know if many of you followed my channel last year. My channel is still pretty small, but I love making these videos. I love this time of the year when I get to watch high quality movies, smaller movies, arty movies that usually don't end up getting a lot of money at the box office. These movies are largely ignored by them, and many of these filmmakers just hope to get their prestige at the Oscar season. But I do have a comment to make on Dune Part 2 and why maybe it's time that we reward these big budget spectacle movies, especially a movie like Dune Part 2, which breaks all boundaries on what a big box office spectacle movie can be. It's more than a sci-fi movie, it's more than an action movie. I think it's one of the greatest movies of all time, which is why Dune 2 will be a major focus of mine throughout this Oscar season. I don't care what critics says, I don't care what experts says. I do believe that people will have this movie in their hearts, even the academy members, even the arty people who only enjoy smaller movies, who look down upon the bigger movies. And while I don't have Denis Villeneuve at number one to win this particular category, I think this year is very stacked. So I'm not going to put him at number one, and I'm not going to pretend that Denis Villeneuve is the favorite to win. If you look at the history of Oscars, even rewarding them with a nomination, like these big directors with a nomination, is a big deal. Chris Nolan got his first Best Director nomination for Dunkirk. No, he did not get it for The Dark Knight. He did not get it for Inception. Imagine Chris Nolan was not nominated for Best Director for a movie like Inception. That is just beyond me. That is a directorial feat, guys. And if Chris Nolan can't get a nomination for Inception, maybe Denis Villeneuve can't get one for Dune Part 2 as well. It's a possibility. But if that happens, I'll be beside myself. So Denis Villeneuve will be in my top 5. He will get nominated. He is getting nominated in my predictions. In my personal list, he'll obviously win. I haven't seen a lot of these movies. I know most of these movies will be great because I do love these kinds of Oscar movies when they do come around. I'm a cinephile. I love the smaller movies. But again, Dune Part 2 is the movie to watch out for. And if it wins, I'll be the happiest person. A couple of years back, I was gunning for Top Gun Maverick. I really wanted that movie to win major awards. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Dune Part 2. I think it's a masterpiece of a movie, and I hope that it at least wins one major category. Maybe Best Editing, maybe Best Screenplay, maybe Best Picture, maybe Best Director. One of these, maybe, please. And I even have Timothée Chalamet at Best Director, as Best Director. I think he's that good. But I don't think he will get nominated as Best Actor because I don't think people see that movie and think that it's an actor's movie. It's more of a director's movie. But so this page that I have opened right now is from goldderby.com, and what this website basically does is that a lot of experts and critics go here, they do their predictions, and the list that I have to the left of your screen is the one that basically summarizes all their predictions. So this is ranked, guys. People think Sean Baker from Anora will win this. All the experts, all the critics, and I do have him in my nominations as well. So this is an easy one. I do think he's getting nominated. Sean Baker is famous for making movies about sex workers, and he has a very unique imprint. So I do think he will definitely get nominated. Same with Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez. This movie is making the rounds, guys. If you look at the festivals right now, this is at the top of the list for many people. So this will get nominated for sure. I'm not really sure about The Brutalist, so I'm not going to put Brady Cobert yet. From what I've heard, it's a 3 hours 30-minute epic. And epic is the word to define a movie that is 3 hours and 30 minutes long, and it justifies its screen time. From what I am hearing, I haven't seen these movies, but The Brutalist sounds epic. But I'm not going to put him yet. Let's see. Then we have Steve Mcqueen for Blitz. Again, a movie that no one has actually seen. So the above 3 movies people have actually seen. So we know that it will be great. But Steve McQueen's Blitz people haven't seen yet. Why is it so high? It's high because it's Steve McQueen, the guy who made 12 Years a Slave. That's why it's so high. But I'm not going to put him yet. I'm going to put Denis Villeneuve yet because of the long monologue that I gave at the start of the video. No explanations or no further justifications I need to say here. But yeah, he's definitely getting nominated. I do have Edward Berger as well. I know he's at number 6 according to these experts, but I do think that All Quiet on the Western Front, which was directed by Edward Berger, was a masterpiece. It is a very dark movie with a very dim ending, but I do think that Conclave is that kind of a movie that will keep picking up steam because of the subject matter. It's based on the succession line of the Pope, and I do think that the movie is exciting enough to last the Oscar season. So while I'm not really sure about Brady Cobert for The Brutalist or Steve McQueen for Blitz, I am pretty sure that Edward Berger for Conclave, even though he's at number 6 according to the critics and the experts, I have him in my top 5. And then the number 5 slot is up for grabs, guys. Like, I'm really switching between Steve McQueen or Brady Cobert. I do think one of these people will be my top 5. Right now, I lean towards Brady Cobert because it's a movie that is out. Many people have seen it. Blitz is still an unknown factor. I'll need to wait and see how the reactions are. Maybe it's a great movie. Maybe it's not that amazing. And that's why he doesn't make the list for me. But he is my number 1 honorable mention. And I'm not going to give my 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, you can go through through this list and see what those are. Because I don't think a lot of giving a lot of honorable mentions is fair, because I'm here to predict stuff. I'm not going to give you a list of 15 directors and one of them will surely get nominated. I really do believe that these are the top 6. Now, one big unknown factor that many people have higher on the list is Ridley Scott for Gladiator 2. And I don't get it. I love Ridley Scott. I even think his recent movies aren't that bad. I think those are good movies. But it has been a long time since he made a great movie. You could argue The Martian is great. I do think it's great, but it's not a masterpiece. Even if I give The Martian to Ridley Scott, apart from The Martian, there's nothing else. The Last Duel was good. I even think House of Gucci was good. But good is not great, guys. And you have to be great to get into the top 5. So I don't have that much confidence on Ridley Scott. The one dark horse that I have in this race is Coralie Fargeat for The Substance. This movie just came out and it's making a lot of noise. It is polarizing. The audience aren't totally up for it, I would say. The subject matter that I have heard, it's pretty unique and it can be very polarizing, like I said. But I do believe that because the list that is currently does not have a female director and a female director is not even close to the top 10, there might be a case for Coralie Fargeat to get in. But again, I'm not one of those people who believe we need to have female directors in the top 5. You need to have the best directors in the top 5. The top 5 most deserving directors. I don't care if it's 5 females. I don't care if it's 5 males. The most deserving people should get nominated. Now, why aren't females getting nominated is another topic. That's down to Hollywood. That's down to opportunities. Those kinds of things are different. It's a separate issue. But when you have to judge based on merits, you have to judge it based on merits. Like, there's no hyperbole here. So, in my opinion, right now, Coralie Fargeat has very little chance to get nominated. But there could be a surge. A movie like this could pick up. So I do have her as the dark horse. But I'm not going to put her in the honorable mentions or something. This is the list, guys. In terms of ranking it, I'm not going to put Denis Villeneuve at number 1 because I don't think he's going to win. I hope that he wins, even though I haven't seen the other movies. I'm ready for a big blockbuster to win a major category Oscar. I'm ready for it. I've been waiting for it for a long time. I hoped Inception would win. It did not win. Other movies came around. Top Gun Maverick did not win. Like, people usually don't consider these big blockbusters as cinema. They don't think about it as cinema. So I'm ready for a movie like Dune Part 2 to win a major Oscar like Best Director or Best Picture. But I don't think the Academy is ready yet. So I'm not going to put him at number 1. The list pretty much stays the same. Sean Baker is winning the Oscar as of October 2024. I do think he's the favorite to win. And I would want him to win as well. Apart from my personal bias towards Dune Part 2, Anora is that kind of a movie that is different. It will have a visual flair that is very different. I urge everyone to look at the posters, the trailers, any footage that is out, and look at the filmography of Sean Baker. This is a guy that makes unconventional movies that even are not very Oscar appealing. He made a movie called Red Rocket, which is amazing, but it did not get any major recognition from the Oscars. He makes very unconventional movies, and he deserves to be in the spotlight. A movie like Anura, if it wins, I will be very happy for a director like Sean Baker, because he's not a Scorsese, he's not a Spielberg, he's not even a Nolan. He makes very specific kinds of movies, and rewarding a director like that is why I love cinema. I love seeing different voices, and he's certainly a different voice. Same goes for Jack Audiard. Emilia Perez is also that kind of a movie that is very unique, very weird, and he has his imprint in it. Again, I have not seen these movies. I'm just saying from what I've heard from other people and other experts. But at least these movies are unique, something new. It's not copying from a mob gangster movie that we have seen 100 times. There's freshness in these movies, and that's one common thread that you can find across all these directors. It's a very packed year. This is one of the most competitive years I've seen over the past 10 years, I would say. And I think it's the post-COVID surge. I think last year got impacted because of the actor strike, because of the COVID impact still going on. This is the year when cinema is truly back. So those are my predictions. Like, I do have 6 people right now. The top 5 are getting nominated with just one honorable mention. I always keep very less honorable mentions, like I mentioned, because I want to be specific in my predictions. But again, Sean Baker for Honora is winning the Oscar right now. Jack Audiard for Emilia Perez is my number 2. Denis for Dune Part 2 is my number 3. Edward Berger for Conclave is my number 4. And Brady Colbert for The Brutalist is my number 5. It's a 3-hour, 30-minute epic. And I do think that he edges out Steve McQueen for Blitz, because no one has seen Blitz till now. So these are my predictions for Best Director. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe. And many thanks for watching.